it's my distinct pleasure to get an opportunity to interview Dick Blake, who I think many people in Brevard County know this gentleman because, first of all, he was the first black basketball coach for Cocoa High School. Head coach. Yes. Then he became the assistant principal. Then they made him principal, and he's going to be inducted into the Sports Hall of Fame as a player and as a coach. Congratulations, Dick.
Thank you very much. It's a tremendous honor because now students can look at me and say, well, listen, if Dick Blake did it, coming from a family of 10 children, I can do it. So it should be a motivation to all of us because I'm from a family of 10 children, 8 boys, 2 girls, and 3 of us in college at the same time. I had an athletic scholarship. My brother went ROTC scholarship. My sister had academic scholarship. So education is way out.
Now, I asked you, before we started the interview, but I asked you what memory puts a smile on your face from either your career or as a coach and has you inspired others. What makes you smile?
Well, what makes me smile is tough love. We had classroom teachers who really cared about us. In other words, during the time, man, you talked about earlier, that was when the Board of Education would apply to the seat of knowledge. Teachers at that time could palliate. So consequently, we didn't want to get in that trouble. Also, we had the parents, the support of the parents. If you messed up, if a teacher went home and told your parents, you didn't want that to happen. So consequently, you had a good total support cast system coming from you. Classroom teachers, your principal, and your parents, and your community.
Now, what about a coach? Was there a coach in your life that was instrumental, and what is that coach's name?
Quite so. His coach's name was Coach Riche Sims, S-I-M-S, All-American, tremendous football player, attended Florida A&M University, All-American, and he inspired us. He told us how important it is to get a good education, go to school, and that was all the motivation that we need. He also gave us the confidence. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. So consequently, we had that type of support cast coming from the coaches, the classroom teachers, and our parents.
Were you that kind of coach? And if you were, what are the words of inspiration that you pass along to young athletes?
Confidence, enthusiasm, you can do it. Positive, the power of positive thinking. We won back-to-back state championship. We went to the national representing the entire state of Florida. So I was very fortunate. I knew how important it was, and I was very successful in doing this in high school.
But the underlying thing is get an
education. You can't beat to get that education. It's so significant. You know, I never would have been a high school principal. And look, I forgot to tell you, I'm also an elected official. I'm a city councilman in Rockledge.
Okay.
Yes, for something like 34 years, I've been an elected official in Rockledge. And they just named a park for me in my dedication last week.
Congratulations.
Dick Blake Park in the city of Rockledge.
I will go by and see that.
Please do, Danny.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure.
My pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Doctors Botto are with me, and they are Steve, of course, and David, who are not only brothers, they're twins, and they practice their craft together. Notice that word practice, yeah.
We're still training. We're trying to get it right. We're trying to get it right.
Thank you for working with me there, Steve.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, I understand that tonight in the 50-50 drawing, you guys decided not to take it. What did you do with it?
Gave it to the Health First Foundation. They do wonderful things here in the community for medicine, and you know we're blessed to have them here helping out the community for medicine, helping care for our patients here, and we just give it back.
All right, now you guys are involved with sports medicine in particular, right?
Correct. Yeah,
right.
Sports medicine.
What is the most frequent thing that you have to deal with in sports medicine? I mean, are we talking about shin splints? What are we talking about?
Overuse injuries, ankles and knees primarily, and shoulders.
Is it from a lack of warming up and doing it correctly? I mean, is it mostly amateurs?
It's actually guys your age that think they can be 20 years old and go out there and do it every weekend and make something happen, and they usually
or have big, large gaps in between doing the events, and so your body really isn't ready for the extra stress?
You got it.
What about lack of warm-up?
Warm-up's important. It's really important, especially as you get older, but usually it's guys that are out there, they're just weekend warriors, I call them, and they basically go out there and they want to play the game they played 20 years ago, and they go for it, which is good, but they come to our office and we see them quite a bit.
All right, now my question for you, David, do you guys practice what you preach?
Absolutely.
You go to the gym on a regular
on a regular basis, at least 3 times a week.
At least you send your money.
At least 3 times a week. If I don't, my wife goes for me. So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, my motto is the next time I see somebody jogging and they're smiling, I will possibly consider it.
Exactly.
In the meantime, What is your best advice to, I mean, we keep hearing things constantly changing as far as getting exercise. Exercise in any sort of form, at least as long as it's moderate, is going to be beneficial, isn't it?
Absolutely. Exercise is more important as you get older than when you're young. It actually builds bones, muscles, but it's actually more important as we get older, the workout than it is when you're younger, to keep in good shape, fit, and strong so you don't get injuries.
All right. And what about some of the vitamin supplements and things like that we're hearing about? I'm hearing good things about vitamin D and B complex because of its help for the immune system.
B12, actually, sublingual B12 is phenomenal as far as for mentation, weight loss. Omega-3 fatty acids are also useful. Good literature on that, and basically a well-rounded diet. And
D3, I hear, is
D3 is good. Vitamin D3, as far as not only for bone benefits, but for also for heart benefits also.
And actually good for depression, antidepressant. Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for all you do. Thank you very much for stopping by and talking to me.
Hey, man, good.
All right. Thank you.
Very good to meet you. Very good.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Joining us now is Troy Cox, and a lot of folks here in Brevard County know him because of Parks and Recreation, but a lot of people know him because he's been involved with flag football for 44 years, and you've also been involved with baseball for, what, 34 years? And you're going into the Hall of Fame, dude.
That's right.
Congratulations.
It's a nice honor, and I really appreciate it.
Well, I've asked this of some other people, but I want to ask you, what memory from past, whether as a coach or whether as a player, what memory brings a smile to Troy's face?
Well, being
Many of them, really, actually.
Yeah, I've had a lot of high moments, but the things that really are close to me is as a baseball coach for the Americans Baseball Club. We won 8 World Series championships, but 2 of them are very special to me because it made us the #1 ranked team in the world. So, and that happened in 2008 and 2010. So those 2 memories and championships in the World Series are like highlights of what you've been trying to accomplish all your life, to be the best.
You've got a winning formula.
I've never had a losing team. I hope that's the winning formula. I have a lot of patience, and it takes a lot of patience to win. But yeah, you're right. Yeah. I would say that.
And you work with not just, we're not talking about young kids here. We're talking about.
Right. My teams, the teams I coach, are actually former major league players, minor league players, and college players.
Oh, all right.
So they're the big kids.
Right.
So I started 34 years ago with guys about 18, 20 years old, and now they're 38 plus, 48 plus, and 55 plus. And lucky for us, World Series goes to 70 plus, so I could be around for a while.
I'm still eligible. Hello. Hello. Question, what would you say to a young person wanting to get involved with sports and saying that, well, I'll make a career out of this, or I'll make a fortune out of this, or what is the advice that you give to people?
Well, not to cut you short, but passion is a thing that drives everybody. If you have a passion for something, pursue it. And if you can put your time and energy into it, it's, big things can happen. Sure. So don't ever give up. If you have a losing season, try to improve the next year by winning 1 game at a time, and that's what I do. I've just been lucky. As you say, the winning formula, I think I figured it out, but I just hope it continues.
And that is Troy Cox, and he's a winner, and he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. It's time now to talk to Coach Ernierosso, and you were the coach for Brevard Community College, and you retired.
Just last year after my 29th
Well, we're not going to
year.
let you get away. We're going to put you in the Hall of Fame. How's
That's
that?
tremendous. Tremendous honor. I watched it unfold last year, was tremendously impressed, and I'm totally honored. This is my first, and if this has to be the first one I ever enter, it's quite a privilege.
Congratulations. Now, do you look back on some of the things that has happened in your life and as a coach? Share with me one of the memories that makes you smile when you think back on it.
Well, first of all, I went to Brevard Community College, so I've come full circle. Was raised in this area, went to the school, played professional baseball 5 years, did my time in school, got my degree, and then came back and was fortunate enough to replace my former coach. Wow. So I've been there 30 years, and that's quite an accomplishment. I've sent some guys on to the big leagues. A lot of guys have gone on big time in school and doctoral and everything like that. So I'm proud of those. Most of those are the ones we count on, and those are the ones that really are prevalent or big time in my life.
Yeah. Well, then you know the value of education because you also went ahead and got yourself a degree, you know, so that you could be a teacher coach, right?
Right. One of the keys at college was you had to have your master's. So I was a full-time teacher the whole way. And now that I've retired, I've stayed in teaching. And I believe I am an educator first and a coach second.
Right. And you are someone who inspires others as a coach. Now, what do you tell young people today about athletics and the possibility of making a career out of athletics?
Well, first of all, I know where you're going with this. We have to have Plan B, and the degree is the plan. I think 1 out of 10,000 high school baseball players plays one day in the major leagues. But a lot of these kids have dreams. There's nothing wrong with that. But you better have Plan B, and that's going to be an education or a skill set that's going to put you in today's system working full time.
Right. That's what I did. I have a backup plan. I'm going to retire with you. Ernierosso, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you very much, sir. It's an honor.
Thank you.